When it comes to marketing, the base and the foundation is relatability. If you want to sell me this earring, there's a way to make it relatable to me. Why do I need it? Is it based on how I want to look? Am I the type of person that want to be loud? And even in that, you have to be practical about it. If you want to learn about marketing, just learn from the Chinese. I think they're the best at marketing in the world. If they want to sell you this tab, you see them throw the tab from 2-story building upward and downward, showing you that durability. If they want to show you how long it lasts, they will play a game on it for 10 hours and show you that they won't just write a nice graphics. It's practical. That's how we should treat marketing in anything you're doing.
I have a fantastic product. It is that product that everybody needs. I know that it works. If I just put it online, I don't have to, do so much. Why do I have to stress over marketing? Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Walk Behind the Wind podcast, a podcast wherein we do not only spotlight the success of entrepreneurs, but we drill down to talk about their failures, the resilience, and all of the behind the scene that led to their success. I am your host, Deborah Adejiro, and with me today is one of Africa's finest marketing experts. He is the head of marketing and also founder of Scrutiny. Ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause, let us welcome the incredible Yemi Ajibade. Drum roll! Hey! Look at who we have on set. How are you doing?
I feel excited. It's good to be on this show.
Okay.
I personally love anything that has to do with reality talks, talking about work and life. So it's good to be here.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. We are super, super excited. So before we get into the discussion, because I know that you are all geared up to talk about everything, I want us to play a quick game. So are you ready?
I am.
I'm going to ask you some questions and you must answer in 3 seconds. There will be no time extension. Are you ready?
Okay, I am.
Okay. So, your first job ever.
Chocolate City Music.
One word that describes you at work.
Creative.
A marketing trend that needs to die.
TV adverts.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Last thing you Googled.
Train station in Nigeria. How to book a train.
Okay, that's interesting. So, what do you do to unwind?
What do I do to unwind? Averagely, movies in between the week. But if it's a long stretch of time, I would say going for a retreat, 2 days, 3 days.
What sort of movies?
Yes. I have different genre. I particularly love action, and then I also love comedy as well.
Okay.
And some Nigerian movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So, where do you get your best ideas?
I would say from observing. I see everything. And this started from when I was a graphic designer. I think I learned a lot by just observing my environment. And the same is how I learned. I just observed, I've been seeing this, I've been seeing this. And then I pieced the information together.
That's so beautiful. So, one last question.
Yeah.
One topic you can never get tired of speaking about. I'll give you 5 seconds for that.
That would be branding. Yeah, brand development.
So, why branding?
Because I feel like that's the ultimate thing that all your effort as a business comes down to.
Sure.
When they mention your name, that's all it comes down to. So I believe it's worth learning how to build that thing so that whenever people mention your name, they are seeing or imagining the right thing.
That's so beautiful. And if you don't know, Yemi Ajibade, when it comes to branding, just leave it to him. Like, he's an expert. And I think I would just leave it to him. For some people who they've never heard about you before, they don't know you before, I just want you to, do a quick introduction. I know I've said it that you are, and I'm not even capping when I say that he's one of Africa's leading marketing experts, but I want you to, introduce yourself to our audience. So, who is Yemi Ajibade?
Okay, first of all, I like to describe myself as a curious person. Like I said earlier, I observe a lot. I learn from my environment. I learn from everything. And in terms of experience, I have a background in marketing. I have taken some courses, programs, but I didn't study marketing in school. I'm one of those people that stumbled into marketing. And I've also been there, done that a lot. If you're looking for that jack of all trade before, that was me. From real estate to fashion to furniture.
Wow.
Anything you can think about, I've probably done it before. And right now, I consider myself a creator who is exploring entrepreneurship. And I say exploring because all the while I wouldn't consider what I was doing entrepreneurship per se. I think I was more or less freelancing and hustling. But that has changed right now. I'm a creator who is exploring entrepreneurship. I'm learning how to build something beyond me. So that's Yemi in summary.
And I think that is so beautiful because being a creator gives you that expression to, do a lot of things. You can juggle within any sector you really want to give expression to. But speaking about that, I'm curious to know, you are the marketing expert, you talk about branding, but was that what was in the mind of the 6-year-old Yemi Ajibade? Is that what you wanted to do, starting
not.
out? Okay, so tell us about
wanted
that.
to be a pilot.
Hey.
And the typical thing as kids, it was all about the money. We heard that
Yes.
accounting would make you the most money.
Yes.
And then at some point it was engineering. But I knew, I'm grateful for what they call like self-recognition. I never had any dream of anything science. I just knew I didn't like science.
Really?
I found it boring. It was always around accounting and piloting. That was my childhood dream. But then, as usual, Nigerian school happened to me. At some point, that became law. I wanted to read law. And my reason was because I thought like I know how to argue very well. I considered myself a great argumentative person, whatever that
But
means.
whatever it is.
And then I wanted to read law, but not sadly, I was offered Christian studies. Wow. Yeah, I know, both ends. And then I decided that I should take it and reapply as is his classic advice. Second year, I wrote JAM again, did excellently well, but no admission.
Wow.
And that was when I knew that, okay, this is it right now. I'm not about to write JAM again, but what can I do with this? And that was when I started learning other skills because I also could tell that Christian studies didn't give me much option. At best, I would become a lecturer, and I didn't have interest
Maybe
in
just
that.
go to seminary school and be teaching.
And so I started learning things that could equip me for the job market. Yeah.
And I think this story is, two very interesting story here is that I'm sure if we do a research of a typical, maybe if we bring 10 Nigerian children, 8 out of them will say, I wanted to be a pilot.
Yeah, a banker.
It's just so interesting. And I think another interesting story, hearing about the fact that, there was something you wanted to do and there is this whole Nigerian system that happened. Because I can't imagine how a child will say, I want to become a lawyer, and now you're offering that child CRS.
Yes.
Like how? Yeah. So, but it's so beautiful to also hear that despite that challenge, you were able to, turn it into some lemon to lemonade experience, wherein you're not just wasting away the free time that course sort of affords you, because I think that's the good part of it. Maybe if you were studying law, you might not have time to pick in other skills, but because of the peculiarity of your course, you were able to learn some certain things, and I think that's just so beautiful to know. So now, this is a major turning point for you, but I also want us to drill down to it. So let's talk about your journey like in-depthly and walk us through a major turning point in life that shaped you to who you are now. I'm sure the story you talked about now plays a significant role, but I also want us to let us drill down into this thing. Remember, it's not just about spotlighting the success. So we want to share stories that are relatable, where people be like, oh, so I'm not crazy after all. I'm not the only one this is happening to. So take us through that life journey where you had a major turning point and then helped you to become who you are now, and then have this certain level of clarity about who you are and what you're going for.
Wow. Okay. I would say my career started in 100 level.
Okay.
Here was I in school, studying a course that I knew had no practical future for me. And so I started to learn skills. After my 100 level vacation, I learned how to customize t-shirts. And as a young boy, I go back to school. I was excited to tell people about it. Here and there, a 2K shirt today, 3K shirt tomorrow. And then I saw a limitation, which was that whenever I went to the cafe to do design, those people would have like 2,000 fonts and I would not be able to find what I needed. I would just be like, this one. So I thought, you know what? I can't depend on these people anymore. I need to be able to create my own design. So I learned graphic design. This was 200 level. I did that till graduation. And in my service year, I learned that web development was the next big thing.
Yeah.
That it pays better than graphic design. So I learned how to code, HTML and the rest. But I also discovered that I didn't see myself doing that stuff 10 years from then. So I said, you know what, it's good I learned this thing, I quit. And after service, I returned back to Lagos and I was freelancing. I was doing things ranging from graphics, I was still building websites until I attended this boot camp event. And it was organized by my church. I met a lot of young people, like 200 of us from all over Nigeria. I met people, I was doing my thing. And 2 months after that, I got a call from two ladies that I met there telling me that Chocolate City were looking for an intern, particularly in the area of marketing, and that they recommended me. First of all, I don't think I told this lady anything about my marketing skills, but they had told the HR so much about me. And eventually, I went for an interview with the head of marketing then. It was more like a chat. I was in the studio talking, and he told me that these two ladies, because they also got the internship, that they wouldn't stop talking about how they needed me on the team. That
Wow.
even I could not see it at the time. Like, you guys, you don't know whether I really sabi this work or not.
Or not.
But that was the beginning of me learning what it means to run a business or run a company.
And shout out to those ladies, really.
Shout out to you, Naya and Faye. Yes.
Naya and Faye, God
Naya
bless
Faye,
you.
thank you guys.
Okay.
But there, it was my first practical work experience.
Okay.
I got to see how companies run. I also got to connect with people, worked here and there. After that, another opportunity showed up. It was someone that I had done a design for maybe 2 years back. Her husband was about to start an advertising agency, and in the end, the designer called on me. I at first said I didn't want to join. So the smart guy said, you know what? You don't need to join me. Come and work for me for a week. I'll pay you by project. So I went there, and the first 2 days, I'm just like, okay, I think I like
This
it here.
looks good.
So I accepted that offer. That was my second 9 to 5. The third one was also my ex-boss at Chocolate City. The day that this advertising agency told us that they were closing shop, sadly couldn't fly. That was the day that I got a call from my ex-line, my dad. Oh, this person looking for a marketing person and he wants to recommend me. I'm like, guess what? I just became open. And then I took that job. Now, in all of this, what would I consider my turning point?
Yeah.
I would say is that point of realizing that being in school and I was studying what would not work for me, it started leading me to search for other things. And when I look back at my career, there are always such points where I just have a foresight of this thing is not going to be here anymore.
You know, speaking about foresight,
Yeah.
because I really wanted to follow up on something that you said the other time, which I feel like we really need to talk on that, and anyone viewing this would be able to learn one thing about it, because one of the greatest undoing of a lot of people is that they are unable to see the end from the very beginning. They get stuck on something that they started. They were unable to reinvent themselves, and they eventually die. So you said something regarding how that when you were learning website development, but you made a very profound statement. You said that this will not be it in the next 10 years. And this is just you, I think you in your undergrad. How were you able to have that visionary insight for you? Because people of that age, maybe all they're just thinking about is just to live by and make ends meet. So how were you able to, because again, it's also a risk for you to also start reinventing yourself. So what led to that old mindset? I mean, I just want to, you know, hear
Wow,
from you.
I wish I can nail it down to one thing, but I would say learning generally helps. I'm a general learner. I read finance news. I know everything going on in the US. Ask me about Tokyo. I just love to know things. And I think that some way those information connect in the mind, and you just be able to see that with what I've read is happening in this country, with this other thing that I've seen, this is where the future might go.
So it's safe to say that when people know better, they will do better.
Yeah, I feel like when you know, it's inevitable. The information would come. So recently I was speaking somewhere and they asked me a question and I was honest enough to tell them that this is as much as I am sure of or I knew. But when I was speaking, guess what? I started remembering things from a book that I read at least 5 years ago.
Wow.
That I had totally forgotten. It was a casual read, the most casual read I've ever done. And I was able to give that person very good advice. And I feel like that's also how this thing works. I don't mean be a generalist, but I mean that when you learn a lot, the information do connect and you are able to just see where the future is going. And I think that's what works for me.
So beautiful. And I think that is so good. I mean, we cannot overemphasize how that knowledge is so powerful, right?
Absolutely.
Some of the people, doing the big things that we see now is because they have access to certain level of knowledge that maybe other people do not have access to. So thank you for taking us through your journey. What I see there is that, and that is why you are just doing your own thing, and Naya and Feyi count it worthy to say that, okay, I think we can place a bet on this guy.
Right.
And I think, I saw a post recently of Smart, and he said that nobody is self-made. We all are being made by people. There are people who took a chance on us, by giving us a job, who took a chance on us by giving us a grant, who took a chance on us, or, recommending us or whatnot. So, and I think that is what your own journey too has been, all about, right? I was going to ask that, how did you find yourself in marketing space? But it's clear now how you got
I don't even think I got up to that point.
Okay.
So after I had done all of this, around 2019, I had this opportunity again. Someone recommended there's this program by Faith Foundation, and that was the first time that I shifted from being a hustler to an entrepreneur. I got to discover things about keeping a record, legal compliance, and then I said, you know what, I don't want to be a freelancer anymore. Everything I was doing, I wanted to do it from that angle of building a business. And that was also the training that, first of all, exposed me to marketing. So I had that training even before these other things happened.
It started to happen.
Yes. And from there, it's one program to the other, learning, and then got into marketing. Even though I don't really consider myself more of a marketer anymore, I think I just adopt the title of an entrepreneur right now.
Okay. So, Yemi, there is an hidden gem in some of the things you've been saying, which is even outside of some of the conversations that I wanted us to have, but I think it is imperative that we have it.
All right.
Now, there's been a lot of conversation about recommendation.
Wow.
And I think this is speaking quietly to me that maybe you've hacked something about relationship that makes it easy for people to be able to recommend you, or to even remember you, because out of sight is out of mind. So I really want you to talk about how that your relationship with people has always brought you opportunities. Let's just have conversations about it, because you cannot tell me that you do not have good because the only reason why I am going to recommend you is because I've had good experience with you, and aside from having good experience with you, you've just been generally maybe good to me, and you've been able to maintain that relationship that I have with you. It doesn't have to be all encompassing, but you've sown a good seed wherein I can say, you know what, when they're saying they're looking for a branding expert, the first person that comes to mind is Yemi Ajibade. So please give us that secret, cut the soap of getting good recommendation via relationship.
Let me do like typical Nigerian. Now God,
Hey!
Of course there's always going to be that divine factor there.
Absolutely.
And including that would be personally how I live is anyone I meet. I'm genuinely interested in people.
True.
If I meet you, we're going to talk, I'll ask you things that I was asking someone something one day, and the guy's like, okay, when are we going to stop this interrogation? Because that's how much I'm genuinely interested. And studies show that when you are interested in people, they grow fond of you. So most people who feel like, oh, I'm not good at connecting with people, you actually don't need to do it too much. You just need to do it one day, that first time you meet people. Do your best to learn about them, ask them questions about themselves, and the next time or forever, they're going to, that's the memory they will have, like, oh, this person that likes me so much, that's there. The other thing is, to an extent, I do my best to keep showing up, post about things. I feel that might also help in the sense that I'm not the type that can go a whole month and not post anything. So somehow, people might remember you that, oh, this guy does this thing. Let me message him. What else can I put to that? I'm going to say that's it, really. Like, genuinely in my core, I'm interested in people. I'm interested in learning about them. It's just what I do. And I think that when you do that, you leave that indelible mark in the hearts of people about you. And
I think that is so beautiful, because there's just this very funny approach to networking when people, all what they're just doing is getting your numbers. At best, they're thinking of how they can use you to achieve whatever it is that they want. But now you're saying that flip the script. Be genuinely interested in that person. How can I add value to you,
Exactly.
because there is nobody that is going to resist value. And you doing that, you're certainly sowing seeds of remembrance, for lack of a
Right.
better word. And the second interesting thing that you said is also show your work.
Yes.
Because I could have a good relationship with you, but if you don't know what I am all and about, there is no way you're going to
Exactly.
recommend me and say, okay, oh, Diga, oh, or, Yemi is this. And I think that
Yeah.
is so beautiful, because a closed mouth will not get fed. So thank you so much for giving us that
I'm glad.
powerful.
Thank you for dragging that out.
All right, so I want us to talk about marketing. I asked
Okay.
you a question the other time about how that what is one marketing trend that needs to die. I thought you were going to say, okay, maybe dancing online. I was expecting that, but I don't know even why I was expecting that anyway.
Right.
Maybe because I don't like it.
Full disclosure, I'm not a fan of that either. So
But what do you think? Has it not come to stay?
that's part of
Because I want us to drill down in marketing now,
Okay,
because it
okay.
feels like now that every entrepreneur, for you to be able to get because now they tell us that attention is gold, right? For you to be able to get that attention, you need to dance, look for the trending sound, do all of this funny thing, and just go on about becoming a clown. Yeah, because it's just so interesting. So, but as the
Yeah.
expert here, I want you to talk about it. Is this something we can do without? Is it a swim or sink situation that if you don't dance, you're not going
You're not
to
gonna
give me
get-
one rhyme like that? I don't know, but yeah.
Yes. So first thing is culture has a huge impact when it comes to that question.
Okay.
I've observed that abroad, it's a different climate from Nigeria
Wow.
or Africa. So Western world, totally different from Africa. And then Nigeria is very peculiar. One thing that definitely works here is we love entertainment. It's been proven. Even one of our best exports in the country is
Yeah,
entertainment.
yeah.
So it doesn't matter whatever you package. I'll give you the classic example. Aproko doctor, for example. There are people who probably know more in terms of medical advice than
yeah.
him, but he has broken it down to us, and even the most elite person wants to listen to what he has to
True.
say. So there's that core factor there when you're thinking about, should I dance or should I not dance? Is anything you do in Nigeria, there has to be a bit of vibes inside. We love that. You can't take that away. If you want to be the corporate person, I'm not saying don't wear your suit, but in wearing
Still
your
had
suit,
vibes.
have a bit of vibes, because that's what the people understand. Now, must you do the type where you are going overboard? For example, I was somewhere yesterday to create
Okay.
content, and I saw two ladies. They were selling wig, classical. They were just dancing and having fun. And I was telling my team that these people, this is why we all feel like we have to dance. They were having the time of their life.
Wow.
And if you keep seeing that, we would feel like maybe this is all that works. And I would tell you, it's a quick way to get their attention.
True.
In marketing, attention is first. If
Yeah.
people don't know you, they don't care about what you sell. But to answer your question, I don't think we have to go overboard about it. You don't need to become a different person. What you just need to do is have that little bit of entertainment in anything you want to do in Nigeria. It works. It's who we are. It's not going to change anytime soon. So don't be too oyinbo with our thing.
And I think what you said about understanding our cultural climate is so beautiful. I was
Yes.
listening to something today as to how a particular food chain is doing better in Nigeria as to in Ghana, because in Nigeria we sort of have this eat out culture, and in Ghana they don't exactly have that.
Imagine.
So if you're going to do anything, you need to understand the culture of the people.
Yes.
I also heard about how that, I think maybe it was Coca-Cola or so, before they were able to get into the market or so, there was a lot of fundamental thing they had to do
Yes.
for people to be able to embrace it. But now, since let's drill down on marketing again. Yemi, I have a fantastic product. It's a product that is going to, it is that product that everybody needs. Like, it works. I know that it works. Why do I have to stress over marketing? Shouldn't people just get to know that, okay, this is the product, if I just put it online, I don't have to, do so much. So I want us to talk about what is that one thing that people need to understand about marketing and also get right about marketing. Because a lot of time people, they are putting a lot of budgets on maybe product development, photo shoots and all of that, but maybe very little on marketing. And I think to the best of my knowledge, maybe there would be no sales without an adequate marketing. So I want you to talk on that and then break some sort of myth that people have about marketing and, generally just schooling people about, this is this thing, you need to get it right. Yeah.
Wow. Well, there's a lot about marketing to talk about before we
Yeah.
start. I would come from the religious angle, first of all,
Okay.
because I feel that that's something we relate to here.
Yeah.
There's almost no religious leader in the world or world leader that doesn't have that factor of relatability. If you notice, for example, in the case of Jesus, whenever he told a parable, I mean, this guy, let me call him, sorry,
This guy.
is also is selling salvation to people, and what he would do is to tell them about a farmer who did this, who sold, who
More
sold
like
that.
storytelling.
And I wasn't there, but I want to believe that that was the best thing that he could have done for those people at the time, because it was beyond their head. What do you mean you sow a seed? They don't have anything to compare with. So when it comes to marketing, the base and the foundation is relatability. If you want to sell me this earring, there's a way to make it relatable to me. It's an earring, no doubt about that, but why is it an earring for me? Why do I need it? Is it based on how I want to look? Am I the type of person that I want to be loud? And even in that, you have to be practical about it. Don't just show me the earrings. I will give you a classical example. If you want to learn about marketing, just learn from the Chinese. I
Okay.
think they're the best at marketing in the world. If they want to sell you this tab,
Okay.
you see them throw the tab from 2-story building upward and downward, showing you
show
that
that
durability.
durability.
If they want to show you how long it lasts, they will play a game on it for 10 hours and show you that they won't just write a
Tell
nice
you.
graphics. If they want to show you that this thing can't be broken, it's practical. That's how we should treat marketing. Anything you're doing, you're selling an outfit, which is why we see that fashion brands do
Modeling.
well
Yeah.
better in Nigeria. Is
Okay.
those people, they can wear the clothes. Even those people who are doing vibes, it's because they wear the clothes and they are doing their thing. It's
Yeah.
practical. You can see it. It's not a fine picture on the model that you don't think you can ever look like.
True.
Now, what other things can we do in terms of marketing? I would also say location and reaching people matters a lot. I've also observed now in Nigeria, for example, we don't yet have a perfect culture of buying things and putting our card online. Abroad, everybody has their card on their browser. They can order things through Amazon Echo and just say, hey, I need this. But right here, we like to chat. We like to know that, okay, I want this color. Even though the person has seen it, like this box, how thick is it? They still want to ask you
Yeah.
that question, and you have to give it to them, because you can do other things right, sell your product, but if you don't have the right channel in
Channel.
place for selling that stuff again, your marketing would fall short. So I've started from relatability.
Yeah.
That's all I would sum marketing is.
Yeah.
Make whatever you're selling very relatable to people. Let them see it, let them feel it, like,
Show and tell.
and then make sure you are using the right channel that people are familiar with to convert them. Don't try to sell. If you want to sell a TV to Nigeria, I don't know how many Nigerians have bought a TV online. You have to walk to a showroom.
Absolutely.
You need to see it.
You need to test
check
it.
the wire. That's
Yeah.
who we are. At least right now. A new
We have
generation
trust
might come.
issues.
A new generation might come and don't care about other stuff, and it's all about convenience for them. But those are the two that I will touch on right now. Maybe if we have more specific questions too.
Okay.
Yes.
So another question I want to ask, and thank you so much for touching down on that about relatability.
Yeah.
Right, because again, if just like the first context that I was trying to put, that, oh, I've created a fantastic product,
Yeah.
I expect that people would understand that this product works. But I mean, sometimes they don't know except you let them know. And then also now create content or whatever touch points that will make it relatable for them. They can see themselves that, okay, this is this thing. I think I saw a particular video on Instagram the other day, and it blew me away. And I even saw comments under the post, and people were like, oh, this is so beautiful. And people were sharing their personal experience. This is just a brand trying to sell a bag. And she just showed a lady that was carrying like 3 different bags. So there's a bag she was putting her shoe. Is that this particular bag will carry all of your essentials.
Exactly.
And everybody was like, a lady was like, oh, this is what my mommy has been telling me, that I'm just carrying Eru up and down. So, I mean, I think that's the whole point of relatability. You're not just saying, no, this is your bag, this is my bag, will carry all of your essentials. Let me see how it's going to carry all of my essentials. So
exactly. Sorry.
Okay, so thank you so much for sharing that. So I want us to go way back again. So what was your first marketing experience and what did it teach you? So maybe this is maybe talking about some of the projects that you've worked on and just sharing experience, because sometimes, Thomas Edison said something, because one of the things I've also realized as a creator and entrepreneur is that we fail a lot of times, but what that failure does to us is that it helps us understand what will not work. Just like the classic quote of Thomas Edison, that I didn't fail 999 times. I just found, this amount of time that this light will not come on. So I really want you to touch on it. So what is that thing that your first marketing experience, taught you? Maybe the marketing campaign you champion, it failed, or maybe it worked. So what was that one thing it taught you?
One coming to mind was a lottery brand.
Okay.
When I was in advertising, there was this brand. It's owned by a Canadian. They're trying to launch a lottery in Nigeria. And if you know anything about that space already, it's been bastard. It's been
bastardized.
It's been bastard.
Bastardized.
It's been bastardized.
You want to take that
so
again?
People, it's been bastardized, and people don't easily trust you if you say buy this lottery ticket and win. So here we are. The company took on an account to promote a brand that was starting in Nigeria. And of course, when we started making the promises of what people could win, we told them they could win a house in Lekki. It was legit. It was over the head of people. Like, what do you mean I could win a house with 1,000 naira?
Wow.
But this thing was real. I was working for the company at the time, or I visited the place, and then a Mercedes C300. This was 2021, brand new. People were insulting us, like, you people are now don't come
too
again.
good to be true.
So there was that, and what helped in that case was we had to work with people who had built a level of trust, and that's what you call influencer marketing. So we work with celebrities like Sisi, Pere, and on the day that those guys posted their content, I don't remember the figure, but I think we sold over 1,000 tickets in that single day when they just posted. So that's the first.
And what was the numbers before then?
We're barely getting 10 sales a day
Wow.
with our ads. We're running ads, we're doing everything, but it just wasn't fast enough. And the beauty of the thing is we needed to sell more tickets to be able to give a day. People were winning like 25K, 50K, and the grand prize was going to be the car. So that was the first moment of truth for me in marketing, that what you are trying and struggling to do, there are some other people who have built the influence, and
just leverage on it.
If you connect to them like that, it's sold. And what else did it teach me? Also, that trust is a very scarce commodity in this part of the world. Even today, so for a product business that I do, when we started, I couldn't understand why people were asking me for pay on delivery. Almost out of every 5 DMs, 2 were asking, is it pay on delivery? And the moment you said no, they almost want to slap you that it's not. And I could not understand it, but then I started realizing that people have been beaten so much. So trust is a very scarce commodity in this part of the world. And we couldn't earn it no matter what we did. Even working with those influencers, under some comments, people were still bashing us that, now they talk. They were quoting other influencers that have promoted things. But I discovered that that gap would always be there, and it's your job to build it up. It can't be instant. No matter if you get the president to post about you, there will still be some skeptic. But there will be a time frame within which you've done this thing over and over. I mean, when we gave out the house, people were the ones rushing after us, like, when are you starting the next episode? It was obvious. We called news, media was there. So they could see NTA, they're like, okay, wow, if these people are there, then it's real. So that's the other thing that you just have to wait through. You can't earn trust by your good heart or because you just want people to believe you. It has to be done over time. So those were 2 profound lessons for me on that project, talking about the marketing project: trust and then influence.
And I think that which you have said now is just like a gold mine for anyone who is currently, who has created any solution of some sort, and then you're struggling to get the buy-in of people. What you need is not to struggle more harder. You just have to leverage on the influence of other people, people who have gained the trust of your target audience of some sort. And just really, because I mean, it's crazy. Maybe a few weeks before, you're just doing merely tens of units, and then just one person talking about it and vow like you're having 1,000 sign-ups and all of that.
Yes.
So I think that is such a powerful thing to learn from. And I was going to mention that why because when you were talking, the first thing that was coming to my mind is that, so why is influencer marketing a thing? But you have said it is because we have trust issues, and that is
Yeah.
why we have to leverage on it, because they
Yes.
trust these guys to some certain level. Every Nigerians, once they see you, they're trying to look at you that, are you trying to rope me in? Are you trying to? But
Yes.
yeah, so I think that's so beautiful, and I think I want us to wind down this conversation
Okay.
now. I know we've not been able to talk about some of the projects that you've worked on, but one thing I'm so sure of is that there are a lot of brands you've been able to work with and help them achieve their goals. Now, what are the habits, personal habits or mindsets that has helped you to thrive amidst all of this? So, what are the habits? What is the mindset that has helped you to thrive? I'm sure that in fact, before we answer that, Yemi, has there been any crazy scenario wherein, because you're more like doing did they call it B2B?
Yes.
Yeah, you're doing a B2B. So I'm sure maybe there's been some crazy things and like, okay, why are we not meeting our target? Why is something wanting? And one company is trying
Yes.
to, shout at you and feel like, so has there been any drama of some sort
Like
that
that.
you cannot forget, that made
Yes.
you rethink?
There was a time where I got my two clients fired me
Wow.
within the space of maybe a month or two. Well, I was managing their social media at the time, and I had been praying for a social media management job because in the B2B business, retainership is everything.
Yeah.
I was getting job here and there, but I wanted to be able to say this money is coming, and then I finally got it. Two brands gave me their social media, and some way, somehow, I had an intern then who was supposed to be doing that job. I was still doing 9 to 5, so I was extremely busy. And then the result wasn't there. They would occasionally just call like, "What's happening? Rachel, Roger." Some of them will be like, they're not signing up. I'm like, we're working to take time. All the marketing lingo, it takes time. But eventually, the first email landed, we're sorry, this is not what it was anymore. Second one, within the space of a month. And guess what? Just of the topic, when I finally now decided to let that lady go, because I had been considering that too, because I was seeing the low performance, but I
Yeah.
was doing church mind, like, make I pity the girl. And
Yeah.
then she now told me that truly that even she said she has been struggling. She knows she had been struggling. So I'm like, I should have just let this person go. Maybe I would have retained my client. But that was one time that I will not forget in business, disappointing my client, which is something that I try to avoid. Yeah. So it was after I decided to let that lady go that
Okay.
she told me that she actually had been struggling herself and she was considering quitting because of school. And that taught me a very good lesson. First of all, on the need to be very, very handy, because everything still falls back to your head as the owner
Absolutely.
of the business. You can't be telling your customer that, it's because of my staff that didn't do this. So
Definitely
it
not.
really hurt me, because I don't like to disappoint people. When I tell you that I would deliver on something, I want to do that. So I didn't have that privilege, and I stayed away from social media project for like 2-3 years.
Can you imagine?
And the last one we've got now, I think we've been over it for a year. I think that's the longest. If you ask anybody managing social media, you can hardly retain a client for that long. And it shows they are getting results. We are both happy. And yeah.
I think that's so beautiful. So, now cycling back, with that, because you've shared experience of, how that's one of the unpleasant experience in your career.
Yeah.
So I would now like to ask, so what is that mindset or that belief system or value, habit, discipline that has kept you from your days of little beginning or the days of your early career years till now? What is that one thing? And if you have to speak to, somebody who is trying to start out, what is that value system, that belief and that habit you would also want them to inculcate so that they could get good results? Yeah.
So the classical one would be, like I mentioned, I was a jack of all trades earlier in my career. And sometimes I wish that I found my space much earlier. So that's the first advice that I would give anyone. Don't think you have to have been everywhere before you find your place. You can find your place much faster, and it will help you. What other advice or value system would I say works for me? I would say it's continuous learning. I don't think anything is perfect. Even if I get 100 reviews on it, okay, maybe that one is perfect. Then what other perfect product can we release? So I don't really ever think that this is it. That looking
Don't
after more.
plateau.
And that's the other thing. Please be mindful of making your reference your locality or your environment. It's easy for you to feel like, oh, I'm in Lagos, I'm the best shoemaker in Lagos. But what about in Nigeria? What about in Africa? What about everywhere else? And that's something that I carry. I don't think that this is it. No matter
There is more.
what accomplishment, and I'm benchmarking. I learned this from my, Pastor David Rotimi would say, whatever you're doing, benchmark it with the best people in the world. Even if you wouldn't be that best, you would come very close to it. That's another value system. And now, recently, I noticed that excellence is now a thing. I
Yeah.
thought I was excellent, but now I'm discovering the place of excellence. When I mean excellence in as little as when you say you're going to deliver stuff, we're just talking about that. It hurts me so much if I promise a customer that they will get their package on a certain day and they don't get it. Sometimes it's actually out of your control, but I do my best to make sure that if I tell you we get this thing, you get it on that day. And it's a culture that we don't really have here. We think you can give somebody and say, oh, sorry, I gave birth yesterday, so that's why I couldn't deliver your outfit.
Can you imagine?
So please, as business owners, entrepreneurs, creatives, I always strive to keep to my word. I want people to be able to trust me that if I say I'll do this thing, I will do that. So there are so many. Keep learning. Obvious one. Don't ever be deceived into thinking that this is it. There's always more. If you're an influencer, you're the biggest in Nigeria. Glory to God. Where else?
Okay. And I think that is so beautiful. The whole conversation around keep learning is what will help you to not plateau.
Yeah.
Because the reason why you're thinking, oh, I've reached the apogee of my career is because you're not saying you're clouded by your own success. You're not
Yes.
saying that there are guys who are doing 10 times better than what you are doing. You know, in my local parlance, they will say, Ibiti oko babe ni koti duro ni baba telomi ti bere. Apologies if you don't know what that means.
It means. Yeah, don't worry.
Okay, so I mean that is just that, and I think that is such a beautiful value system and belief system to work with. And again, to the conversation around excellence, excellence is not just, and I think one powerful thing I've learned from that, because of the example you even gave to excellence is not just even in ambience, it's also in the experience.
Yes.
So, and I think a lot of business owners in Nigeria sometimes lack this thing wherein there are not so great communications, right? There's always communication gap.
Yes.
You're leaving your customer to guess or to know or to reach out to you first before you give them update as to certain things that are going on. So I think that is so beautiful to know. So it's been an amazing conversation with you, really, Yemi. And there's a lot of conversation. There's a lot of gem that has been, subtly disseminated, right? And I really must thank you for that. Thank you so much for taking our time to come speak with us. I think more like we had a bit of marketing masterclass, and thank you for being so generous to sharing all of your experience with us. I just want you to leave our viewers with a final words, and this is going to cut across in marketing, in life, and then in where following through your vision is concerned. Right.
First of all, I'm really delighted to be here because I'm passionate about creatives. I've been a creative, I'm still a creative, and I want all of us to hammer. To that, when I was much younger, I remember in my final year, that thing, what do they call that, yearbook, where you write your quote. I'd forgotten my quote at that time was by Steve Jobs, and it said something like, follow your gut, that they somehow already know what you want to become. Wow. That was what I held up. But then I forgot. But recently, it came back in this way. Someone was asked this question that, what's the most, thoughtful advice that they want to live with their world? And he said, find out what you really want to do and do so much of it that it becomes unreasonable for you to fail.
So good.
And that's what I'm trying to live my life with right now. And I recommend anyone to take up that approach as well. First, learn to trust your God. You
Yeah.
know more than you think you do.
Yeah.
You know more than you think you do. If you think this is the right direction for your career, it might not be popular right now, but if you can start and stay on that path, that might just be what separates you. And that part of doing enough, the reason why that's also important is sometimes we're actually doing the right thing, but
Yeah.
it's just not enough. We underestimate the amount of effort that some things take for them to yield. And that's why we're not
So
hitting them. You
beautiful.
think, oh, if I just go to the office or post 2 times a week, I'm top of the
I
world.
should see results.
But then there are people posting 20 times a week. You can't compare their result
True.
with that. So that's what I would leave with the audience.
And I think that is so, so powerful. The fact that there is a place of processing some of the things you do,
Yes.
and you have to be patient and also have the guts. You know, one of the brilliant posts that I've come across this day is that the future that you desire, or one of the best things that you would desire to accomplish in your life, is at the other side of your audacity. So you must have that audacity to move past, you know, the fear that you're having of what if I fail, what if they
Yes.
reject me, what if it doesn't work. But again, we've been told a lot of times that what if it works. So thank you so much, Yemi, for
Thank
such
you,
an
Moa.
insightful session. We're super grateful, and
you
we
so-
hope to have you again on the show
my
another time. So
pleasure.
ladies and gentlemen,
Thank
can
you
you
so
please
much,
help me
everyone.
give Yemi Ajibade a round of applause?
Thank you, Petra's Hub. It feels like home here.
Yeah, so thank you for tuning in today, and we're going to see you same time, same channel next week.
Yes, that's your sign to start a TV show. Thank you so much for having
All
me.
right,
That was really
thank
good.
you.